Oh, all hands. Yeah.
I love the
But
TikToks where the kids are out shoveling the snow
yeah,
to that sound bite.
I think today, for today's show, we're gonna have to use a lot of arg and salty dog and that kind of stuff.
Maybe do a little sea chanty.
Yeah. How do those go? Did
What do
I
you do with a drunken sailor?
sailor? What? That's it. What do you do with the drunken sailor?
I'm Paul,
I'm Steve.
and this is Check Your Shelf.
So I caught Infinite Text video, Andrea's video about the Trilogy of the Abyss by
Yes.
Bill Hope Hodgson. And it was great. It was a great video. And uh, I am now I can see it already. I'm gonna go on a William Hope Hodgson kick because
You can get
there it
these
is.
pretty cheap. The only thing I don't recommend about this book is it doesn't have the entirety of the House on the Borderlands, which is a story that I intended on getting to with you, but
Hmm.
and as an introduction to Hodgson,
Yeah.
but we'll go ahead and do this instead, since
We'll do this instead. So we did read The Voice in the Night
hmm
by William Hope Hodgson. That it is the shortest of stories.
yes,
Like like you were like, hey, I'm gonna brush up on that story before we record. It would be difficult to brush up on it without accidentally reading the whole thing.
yeah, that's how I responded. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah, so thanks, Andrea, for that overview. It is interesting that she talked about how House on the Borderlands is like the second in a trilogy,
hmm
and the three don't really have a whole lot in common. So why are
It's
they a trilogy?
I don't exactly know why it's a trilogy. I just yeah I link them together as just kind of like when you have like guys like Tom Waits who makes like Rain Dogs and what are the two other ones? Swordfish Trombones, and there's a third one, and everybody considers those like his trilogy.
Heart Attack and Vine,
Maybe
which which at one time I thought was the only album he ever made.
at that time you had seven.
I finally one day I got a hold of uh, his debut. What's that one? Tom Waits. It's just called Tom Waits, maybe. I forget. It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
It's
yeah. Imagine being 21 and writing those songs.
oh, geez, they're so
Yeah.
good. And if
hmm
you love Tom Waits and like we do, and you're familiar with his like Louis Armstrong-esque voice, imagine if he cleared his throat. Let me clear my throat and made an album. That's what his first album sounds like. Must have been many, many cigarettes ago.
Yeah. He was on Letterman one time and he was talking about how one of the best things is he quit smoking and nobody can tell.
So this is probably a good time to tell everybody, if you came here expecting a well-organized, thought out, perhaps written ahead of time show, uh, may I suggest Jeff's Cave of Cool Books, Infinite Text, everybody's favorite booktuber, Michael K. Vaughan, Pulp Mortem, The Book Graveyard, Secret Fire Books. I could name a whole bunch of other channels that it's much more organized and thought out. This is one you might want to put on while you're vacuuming around the house or, mowing the lawn or doing dishes because, it's just going to go all over the place. So far, to recap, we saw Infinite Text's video on the Trilogy of the Abyss by William Hope Hodgson. All she had to say was it has horror and the sea. And I was
hmm
like, I'm in. So
Yeah.
Paul says, read Voice in the Night, and we'll talk about William Hope Hodgson. And eventually, of course, we're going to get to House in the Borderlands. That's going to take longer to read.
But before we get into the meat of the video, at the end, I want to talk about my weird inadvertent connection with this story, how I was a big fan of this story since before I even knew it. And then we have a special announcement to make afterwards.
Very special. Y'all gonna
Yeah.
love this.
I hope so.
Gonna love this. So stick around to hear the announcement.
Yeah. And I'm gonna let you take the what's the big wheel on a ship called? The wheel? The
I
helm?
think it's called the wheel.
Or the helm?
The helm? The rudder?
I'm gonna let you take the helm of this episode then.
Yeah, what are the different parts of a ship? What's the thing that controls the rudder? Is that the tiller or the rudder? Ship experts, let us know. And what's the big thing with the knobs on it that you steer like this? Is that just called the wheel? Is that the thing Jesus takes in a storm?
Or the thing that the captain was strapped to in Dracula when the ship washed ashore.
When I was reading the what's his name's memoir, Ernest Shackleton, and he's talking about the bow and the stern and aft and fore, and I was like getting all confused, so I had to look all that up. Anyway, in this story, you don't really need all that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of jargon. There's not a lot of. I'm looking forward to reading more Hodgson because I like how crisp and just to the point this is, and it just gives you what you need.
Oh, bro, you're in for a treat.
Nice.
I've been holding out a little bit, just waiting for the right time, and there's no time like the present. But yeah, you're gonna love it. If you like Algernon Blackwood,
Yeah.
you're gonna like, and you like Lovecraft, you're gonna love Hodgson.
I noticed that it's not a Robert E. Howard kind of thing. But yeah, more like a Lovecraft or a with the what the heck's going on. And like with Howard, you don't wonder what's going on. He tells you what's going on, right?
And
there
then,
may be
and then
surprises.
goes crazy.
Yeah, everything's gonna go nuts, right? But yeah, with like a Lovecraft or Algernon Blackwood, you're like, something ain't right, right?
Yeah.
And he just gives you just enough, and literally in this one. So this dude, like they're out in the middle of the ocean, Pacific Ocean, and they hear like, hey, ahoy there, ahoy schooner. We used to go to this pub in Lafayette, Indiana, called Sergeant Preston's. It was nautical themed, and you could buy a schooner full of beer, and then you got to keep the schooner. And it was basically, it looked like a chalice made out of glass, and you got to keep it. And if you brought it back, you get cheap refills or whatever. Anyway, ahoy schooner, just out of the night, like it's dark out.
Almost like it's a voice in the night.
Exactly like a voice in the night. And this dude in the boat, they never really see him because it's dark. And they just have to, he's just like talking to them and don't come near me. And I can't come near you, but I need food. And they figure out how to get him some food, and wackiness ensues. But the point being, that metaphor of they don't exactly know, and they have to make judgments based on very little information and just something they can't see. It's just creepy. It gives me the willies.
Yeah.
If you've ever been on a boat at night, you can't see anything, and you're like, how am I going to get anywhere or do anything when I can't see anything?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he captures that really well.
Well, he was a man of the sea like his whole short life. So a lot of what he did comes through in his writing. And one of the reasons why he's not exactly like the Lovecraft or the Howard is because he died tragically during the First World War and never really got to like move, so he was writing the prototype of what they were later writing with the flair for the action, and like in Howard's case, for instance.
Yeah, it's like Jeff said in a recent video, Jeff's Cave of Cool Books. He said he likes stories where things happen. And things definitely happen in this.
Yes, they do.
And he does a good job with the foreshadowing too, because, first of all, you get the idea like this guy, the the voice, they figure out it's interesting how they figure out that he's not dangerous to them,
Yeah.
right? They just kind of using God references and different things. They just kind of figure out like he seems friendly enough. Let's give him some food, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What kind of jerk are you gonna be though? Somebody's out there crying because they're
Yeah.
starving to death, and they're too scared to come, come alongside, as they say. So you're like, nah, screw him.
We'll do a little reenactment here of a Dungeons and Dragons game that we never played, but if we did, this is kind of how it would go. Paul says, okay, you're in a boat in the middle of the ocean, and you hear, ahoy, schooner, from a voice in the night from a particular direction. What do? I attack.
Yes, I cast fireballs.
I guess fireball. That's exactly what I would do. I'd be like, attack. And you're like, we're this this dungeon's gonna go nowhere. This campaign's gonna go nowhere. You're gonna attack one of the instigators of the action. Okay,
Like,
you attack, roll initiative.
I'm just gonna throw out this exposition dump.
Yeah. roll initiative. Uh anyway, what they find out is no spoilers today. Go read it, man. It's quick, it's easy, it's short. I'm sure most of you have already read it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can get a hold of it at Project
yeah.
Gutenberg for free.
Yeah.
It also has been anthologized in this lovely tome by Flame Tree. Again, like I said, the only thing I don't like about this book is it doesn't have the complete House on the Borderlands in it, but it is a novel, and there's only so much you can squeeze into a book this size.
True.
But this is a good crosshatch of Hodgson stories.
So the voice in the night actually ends up telling the story where a lot of things happened. He and his wife were shipwrecked and stranded on an island.
Yes.
And found a boat, found a ship, and they got some food off of it, but they also noticed this weird fungus growing. And that's what happened to them.
Yes. He was like, it started out as a 3-hour tour. They're like, a 3-hour tour?
A 3-hour tour. The weather. It started getting rough. Yeah, I don't want to give away the ending because, I think I saw a comment. I mean, you could kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
And I know I knew the story before because of an adaptation that I had participated in. So I kind of knew, but the other version has a different ending, more of a Lovecraftian ending than this one. But this one, ends tragically, and he'll be missed.
As all good horror does. No, man, this one is great for atmosphere, which is something that Hodgson is great at. Like when we get to Borderlands, you'll see him like in his full power, just swinging that atmosphere everywhere. So my history with this story and why I've loved this story all goes back to when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I was tooling around on, I believe it was probably channel 44 way back in the day, when you had to adjust your dial to find the hidden gems on your television that weren't just the major networks. And I came across this Matengu, or as we knew it as kids, Attack of the Mushroom People.
Oh.
In the 60s, Toho Studios decided they were going to try their hand at making some horror movies. So they made the Voice in the Night into a straight up horror movie that my 7-8-year-old self was scared to death of, and was part of the reason why I was in my teens before I ever ate a mushroom. But it has a more apocalyptic type ending than let's see if I can get a better view of it. A more apocalyptic ending than Voice in the Night does. Well, Voice in the Night is a horror story, so it's not going to end well for people. But a couple of years ago, when I was rewatching this again, I bought it on DVD at a horror convention, And I noticed then that, and this is the Japanese version, you got to with subtitles. I noticed that it was based on a story called "The Voice in the Night" by some guy named William Hope Hodgson. So I looked it up. I found out it was in the public domain,
Mm.
and it was about that time that uh this was, or 2020 was when I got together with some like ridiculously talented individuals, and we created an audio show based on the old Mysterious Traveler radio show. And because it was in the public domain, I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. I want to do, like a tribute to both Voice in the Night and Mutango. So I wrote this, and then it was about 2022. It was the eighth episode. We made 8 episodes altogether. By the way, spoilers: Steve was involved in quite a few of them, if not all of them. Um, so I wrote a script called "Dead in the Water," and managed to get Steve and our friend John Hutchinson also, and MP Cavalier to Cavalier plays the titular voice in the night. And so we did a little radio play about it where I paid homage to both the original version and Mutango.
Yeah, man, and it was fun to do, and it predated the movie The Last of Us, though I'm sure the game might have come out before. I don't know. We're letting the lawyers figure that part out. We can't really say much because of the pending legislation, but we're really hopeful that the creators of The Last of Us do the right thing.
Right. Yes.
Because that's basically the same story, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, from what I gathered about The Last of Us, the TV show versus the video games, is because of the pandemic, they prudently came up with a much more interesting way to spread said virus or whatever, infection, whatever you want to
Fungus,
call it.
yeah. I'll call it a
And
fungus.
it turned
Its
out to
mama called it a
be,
fungus. Its daddy
yeah, it
called
turned
it a
out to be a
fungus.
fungus. So it too owes its roots to
Yeah.
the voice in the night, um, Mutangu, and Dead in the Water. But
And Dead in the Water. Don't
who
forget.
I'm too modest to
Yeah.
to pursue it legally.
You were nothing if not litigious.
I can be quite litigious.
So the other thing that everybody's saying, like, where can I listen to this? Where can I listen to this radio play? So we're telling you where you can listen to this radio play. Instead of a shelfie this week, we're going to re-release Dead in the Water radio play for you guys so that you can enjoy it and feel free to tell us how great we are.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be coming out in a couple of days after this video.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I actually had not read the short story before. And so when I was reading the short story this time, I was like, this seems really familiar. I was like, I think I've read this before. Wait a minute.
Yeah, and for anybody that doesn't know, The Mysterious Traveler was a radio show back in like the 30s, 40s, and I think maybe even into the 50s. I don't think it was as popular as like say Lights Out or what's the one with the creaking door? I forget all of them. But I loved it. I thought it was a great series. It had some really good episodes. And when I was doing research to figure out what to call my show, I found out that The Mysterious Traveler was in the public domain. So I'm like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. So I just glommed onto that name, and like I said, we over the course of about 2 years, we did 8 episodes, which is insane when you consider the amount of work that goes into them.
Yeah.
And some of the we're still talking about Voice in the Night. Some of the plays had so many characters in it. I don't know what I was thinking. That's why when we did Dead in the Water, I'm like, how can I make it 3 people? and it fell together pretty quickly that way.
Hey, if you guys want to do more of these, if you like acting or ever
Yeah.
thought you'd like to act, I look, I did it and I couldn't act my way out of a wet paper bag. And it was
We
a lot of fun, but I
we
enjoy it,
we
so
call him One Take Steve.
one take Steve, that's right. Because you don't want to have to sit through another one.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this
Okay.
episode of Check Your Shelf. If you like our videos, you like our content. I hate the word
forgot that
content.
part.
If you like our videos, if you don't want to miss any, do all the YouTube things down below. Let us know if you've read Voice in the Night. Let us know what you think of Hodgson. Let us know if you think about anything really.
Yeah, really. It doesn't even have to be about this video. I mean, you can tell we don't care. We'll say anything.
Yeah, like what's your favorite recipe that includes mushrooms?
What is it? What's a good mushroom recipe? And what was the name of Steve Costigan's bulldog?
I can tell you what it wasn't.
That should do it. We probably ought to get out of here before the chat blows up.
Yeah, what was it? Cisco said to Pancho, "Let's get out of here before we're dancing at the end of a rope with no music." I'm Paul.
I'm Steve.
And the next time you're looking for something to read,
check your shelf. I have to say, mushrooms don't really scare me. So like Last of Us, the mushroomy people and all that, the mushroom zombies, that didn't really scare me that much. I don't know. I guess I view mushrooms as like they're really slow growing and they taste good. And...
Well, the show is very character driven, and that's why it was extremely important to kill off the most interesting character in the entire series early on. Yeah, it was a great idea.